I've had an interesting day or two here. I emceed a dinner last night in Chicago, a multiple myeloma dinner, and I had the privilege of introducing Mike Ditka, and the evening ended. And to be here, I had a 4 o'clock wake-up call and got a flight out of Midway at 6 o'clock. So as I'm racing down the hallway at Midway today with my suitcase and trying to get to the flight, I saw a banner, an advertisement in the hallway there at Midway Airport in Chicago, and I stopped, pulled out my ticket, my boarding pass, and hurriedly wrote down the message that was on this advertisement. And here's what it said: the only thing more powerful than a big idea is the team that can see it through. And I said, boy, that's my little message today. Because as I do look back to those early days when we did have a dream and we had a big idea, it was a huge idea, really what brought it about was a remarkable team. Jimmy Hewitt put together a team of owners locally that was exceptional. And without that step, never would have happened. And then I think about the political team. Mayor Bill Frederick at the time of the city, and Tom Dorman, the mayor of the county. And city and county leaders don't always get along and they don't always agree on things, but that particular team politically was sensational, and this dream never would have happened without that team. And then we had another team, and that was the community. And I still feel their pulse beat because so many bought into that dream way back and made a commitment on season tickets at $100 a pop to a team that didn't exist, in a city that had never had Major League Sports, to a league that had not agreed to add more teams. And I spent the better part of a year running around trying to convince this community to write checks for $400 for 4 season tickets to come out and see this team that nobody knew anything about. So the community team was absolutely exceptional. And they still are, and they have a wonderful sense of ownership with this franchise because they saw it grow up, they saw it conceived, and they've seen it grow up, and they continue, I think, to really take a sense of ownership, unlike any other city that really has gone the route that we have gone. And then after the team arrived, we had another team to put together, and that was our front office team. And I still think back to John Gabriel's arrival and Jack Swope and the Philly guys, and we plugged together the Orlando people and tried to make the Philly-Orlando team work. We had a few bumps along the way. And then we had one hole missing in that front office team, and finally, a writer in Philadelphia said, the best young guy in the country is a fellow named Alex Martins, and he said, you want him as part of your team, in working with the media and working in the community. And so Alex, who at that point was 24 years old, didn't even shave. I mean, it was unbelievable. We hired him. We had to hire a team dermatologist as well. We brought him in. And to see Alex's progress in this profession over the last 25 years, 26 years, is just absolutely magnificent. So that big idea bore fruit because we had a whole bunch of teams going. And so I represent those teams here today. I accept the award, the honor, and it's a huge one, and I'm awed by it. But on behalf of all these different teams that made this dream possible, I accept the award. Oh, and speaking of teams, in a minute you're going to hear from a remarkable man, remarkable player, who was our first draft choice. And what excitement that was, 1989. And I can't wait to hear our dear friend over here on the left and what he has to say about being a Hall of Famer. The Lord has been with us from the beginning with this deal. When you think back, Orlando in 1986 was not a very big market. There was no Skyline downtown. There was no Universal Studios, no Swan and Dolphin. not much of a convention center. And the airport, oh my goodness, it was embarrassing to bring anybody into the airport and try to sell them. Fortunately, when the owners came to visit, they came in private planes and they landed, you know, but we didn't have a whole lot to sell when you look back to those days in the mid-'80s. But we kept saying to the league, you got to look at Orlando 10 years from now, and 20 years from now, and 25 years from now. Fortunately, they saw that vision. And our city today, my goodness, it's a world-class city with people from all over the world descending upon us, and the growth in this city is remarkable, and the magic has been a big part of it. And so in closing, I think the final thing that is so important to remember here, the strength of our ownership team. When the Hewitt Group decided to sell, they made a deal with Rich DeVos and his family. And what they have done to this community is immeasurable. We're so fortunate to have an ownership group that is solid and stable. They are not in it for any other reason than to win and to be good citizens and contribute about $1 million a year in the community to help underprivileged children and really make a difference on the court and really off the court as well. We're so blessed. That doesn't happen in most cities, believe me. So we have a very rare situation there. And we've been good citizens, and over the years have contributed about $18 million, as my grandson is getting a little itchy, but hanging in there. And so anyway, we salute all of you. Thanks for being here today, and God bless the Magic. Let's go.